Well, we've come to the end of the Pakistan game against Scotland, and what we saw was that this Pakistan team is really very strong in terms of the depth that they are operating with at the moment. If one of the informed batsmen, or so we thought, that they were just a couple informed batsmen, it seems everyone has form going their way. Pakistan was struggling a bit in the early piece because they would have lost Rizwan with the score on just 35. But the skipper, Babar Azam, became the high scorer in this year's World Cup when he scored 66 and was able to dig them out of the early trouble. The game changed when the professor, Mohammed Hafiz, came in. He scored 31 of just 19 balls to really change it. And then when he was dismissed, another veteran in the form of Shoaib Malik came and got a half century of 18 balls. And that ended well for Pakistan. They made 189 for 4 in their 20 overs. And in response, Scotland struggled. They were never expected to get up to that total. They ended on 117 for the loss of 6 wickets, losing by 62 runs. Sean Qureshi was with me at this game. Sean, your thoughts on this Pakistan team? They're really looking awesome.
Yeah, I said I was hoping they didn't make any change, keep that momentum going. And, throughout this tournament, we talked about how important that toss was. But in this back end, we've noticed teams haven't been scared to bat first. And you've started to see where they take those first 10 overs slow. They look to build that partnership. And then they just kick up that run rate in the end with wickets in hand. And that's exactly what Pakistan did today against against Scotland. And I think the key thing is seeing those veterans come in, mix up that middle order, and bring out that experience along with, Asif's hitting. Obviously today, he didn't get many balls. Shoaib Malik stole the show with that quick 50. And, up front, they took their time in that first 10. And I think that's the key going forward. Teams have to see that even if they lose the toss, they don't lose the game. Bat first, field first. You just have to adjust how you approach those 20 overs, and you can take a win in either part of the game.
I think as the tournament has progressed, we have seen the pitches get increasingly better for batting, and this is why the toss is becoming less and less important in terms of dictating the results, as was the case early on in the tournament. It was just totally different. So Pakistan winning today, they would now meet in the semi-finals Australia, and New Zealand will then play England. Yeah. Well, Sean, Pakistan versus Australia in the semi-finals, how do you read that?
Like I said, I think whether bat first or ball first, Australia has a good pace attack, and it's going to be key, to approach that with cautious, especially up front. They're going to have to look to rotate those strikes, build that partnership. We know that's what Rizwan and Babar are good at. But the pace of, people like Cummins start, they're going to go after them. They're going to try and attack them, be aggressive, look for that early wicket. And if we get that partnership out of Rizwan and Babar up front, you'll get a respectable total, and then Australia will struggle. Batting for them hasn't been in the best of form, and they rely heavily on those pacers. So if you play them with cautious, work around them, rotate those singles, build a partnership up front, it's the same game plan similar to how they approached Scotland today. Obviously much harder against Australia than, Scotland, but, go in with that mindset, keep that same plan. You get 150, 160 on the board, Australia can struggle.
Well, that's it from us. Continue to stay with us as we now move into the business end of the tournament, where we'll continue to bring you all the information right here on MAQ TV.